Is that your mom?
No, she's just our house help.
I brought food for you.
Thank you.
Chikai's shame did not arrive all at once. It grew slowly, like a shadow that stretches longer the brighter the light becomes. He was born in a one-room apartment in Surulere, the kind where the walls sweat during the rainy season and secrets travel faster than sound. His father died before he learned how to spell his name properly, leaving behind nothing but a rusted wristwatch and a silence that settled permanently in the house. That silence was carried by his mother, Ngozi. Ngozi was not the kind of woman people noticed. She was small, almost fragile, with hands that looked older than her face, hands that had scrubbed floors, washed clothes until the skin peeled, and counted money so often they could tell the difference between hope and disappointment by touch alone. But to Chike, when he was young, she was the whole world. She tied his school shoes with the tenderness of someone tying prayers together. She packed his lunch with more love than food, and every morning, before the sun had fully decided to rise, she whispered blessings over his head like armor. Education will save you, she told him. Education will lift you, and Chike believed her. The first time shame touched him, it startled him. He was 12, standing outside his classroom when a classmate laughed and said, "Your mother smells like soap and sweat." Chike laughed too, not because it was funny, but because laughter felt safer than defending her. That night, when Ngozi came to pick him up from school, carrying a plastic bag and wearing a faded wrapper, Chike walked 2 steps ahead of her. She noticed, she always noticed, but she said nothing. From that day, distance became a habit. Ngozi worked like a woman racing against time itself. She cleaned houses where people never learned her name. She cooked in roadside stalls where the smoke clung to her hair like stubborn memories. She slept sitting up some nights, exhaustion folding her body into itself. And yet, she never let Chike see hunger as desperation. If food was scarce, she claimed she had eaten already. If money was tight, she smiled and said, "We will manage." She carried suffering the way some women carry jewelry, quietly, without complaint. Chike, meanwhile, grew taller, sharper, smarter. His teachers praised him. Scholarships came. A boarding school followed, one with polished floors and students who smelled of imported cologne and entitlement. Ngozi stood at the school gate the day she dropped him off, holding his small bag, like it might disappear if she let go. "You will do great things," she said. Chike nodded, already turning away. At boarding school, Chike learned a new language, the language of appearances. Here, success was loud. Mothers arrived in SUVs. Fathers wore wristwatches worth more than Ngozi's yearly income. Conversations were polished, rehearsed, effortless. And then there was his mother. When she came to visit, her presence felt like a stain he couldn't scrub out. Her clothes were too simple, her voice too soft, her existence too honest. One afternoon, a friend asked casually, "Is that your house help?" Chike hesitated. That hesitation was louder than a confession. "Yes," he said. The lie tasted bitter, but it worked. Ngozi stood nearby, holding a nylon bag of food she had cooked herself. She heard the lie. She felt it land in her chest like a slow knife. But she smiled anyway, because loving a child, she believed, sometimes meant swallowing pain whole. Years passed, university followed, then opportunities abroad. Chike rose like a man carried by invisible hands. Success wrapped itself around him, first gently, then tightly. He wore fine clothes now. He spoke with confidence. People listened. Ngozi watched from the sidelines, her pride growing even as her place in his life shrank. She became a phone call, then an obligation, then an inconvenience. When Chike hosted friends, she stayed in the kitchen. When he spoke about his past, He edited her out like an embarrassing paragraph. He told himself it was necessary. He told himself it was temporary. He told himself it didn't mean he didn't love her. But love that hides is love already in danger. Success, like pride, is slippery. The same people who lifted Chike applauded as he rose and vanished when he fell. A business deal collapsed. Money disappeared. Doors closed quietly, the way doors always do when you need them most. Chike found himself alone in a beautiful apartment that felt colder than the one-room home he grew up in. And for the first time, shame had nowhere to hide. He remembered his mother, not the woman he hid, but the woman who stayed. When Chike returned home, the house was the same. Ngozi opened the door slowly. She had aged. Her back curved slightly now. Her hair was threaded with grey, but her eyes, those eyes, still held the same unwavering love. Chike broke. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice cracking like dry earth. "I was ashamed." Ngozi looked at him for a long moment. Then she said something that shattered him completely. "I know." She did not shout. She did not accuse. She did not list her sacrifices. She simply said, "I stayed anyway." That was when Chike understood. Some love does not beg, it waits. Chike rebuilt his life slowly, this time with humility as his companion, and Ngozi remained where she had always been, beside him, not behind him. He introduced her proudly now. "This is my mother," he said, but the words came too late to erase the years of silence. Love forgave him, but memory never forgot. Chike had chased dignity in the wrong places. He had mistaken polish for worth, status for value, and distance for growth. It took losing everything to realize the truth. The woman he was ashamed of was the very foundation he stood on. And some lessons, like scars, stay with you, not to hurt you, but to remind you where you came from. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification button for exciting and interesting stories on this channel. See you next week.